so I got the Beidou Seat installed here. It wasn't quite as easy as I thought it was going to be starting out. I mean, it looks like a pretty simple install when you unbox it, and you'll see it up here in the video that I've got coming up. I thought it was just going to be pretty straightforward. But, kind of like a can crusher, once you put the actual mounts on the handle and tighten each of the brackets on the side, the brackets being tightened will push the hinges inwards more from their at-rest position, so it puts everything into a bind. Oh my god, this car isn't paying attention. So it puts everything into a bind, and what I had to do to fix that was I had to take each of my handles off the right and the left side, and I used a palm sander, and I probably sanded down just a millimeter on each side so that it didn't bind up the hinge anymore. I've actually never seen anyone say they had that issue, but I did. That's that. Compared to my Leaperkim patent seat, this is much wider, a little bit firmer seating position. I feel like I'm sliding a little bit forward. That's why you see me grabbing the handle here. I've never adjusted the tilt angles or any of the settings on either of my EUCs, but I actually might do it. With this one, I might tilt it back just a little bit. It hasn't really bothered me, but I don't like the feeling of sliding off the front. So, other than that, just sanding down the handle. The seat is nice. It's a good quality seat. I still don't know that there's anything else I would have rather had. I know there's some bigger, cushier seats out there, but this is a wheel I'm going to get rough with probably sometimes, and I don't want a big cushy seat getting a rip in it. I would like a nice low profile seat. See, I can't accelerate too well here because it'll slide off the front, so I gotta lean forward. So I might adjust the tilt angle of this wheel backwards. But yeah, aside from that, I'll walk you through my install process, and I think I ran over a little bit when I had to actually go back once I thought I was done to get the binding undone. So here it is. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I got the Beidou seat here from E-Wheels. It came in a padded envelope. I haven't looked at it yet. Figure we'll run through it, putting it on. I've never put it on before. Wow. It actually came with Allen keys. I guess first things first, I don't need a torque spec for these. What was that, 2.5? Nope. We'll set up a fork for this. I just kept going around in circles there until I felt equal pressure on everything and it wasn't loosening up with each cycle going around all 5 screws. I guess the next part is just to remove the handle on the wheel. Looks like I'm gonna probably remove 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here. Two bolts here, and then that
Easy peasy. I'm sure these hinge bolts are tight, but let me get another set of Allen wrenches just to make sure. Okay, that's good. I'm glad I put Loctite on them. I guess we'll go ahead and slip this on. This here. Some people put tape around here to protect the handle from getting scratched, but I just checked e-wheels right before this video. A new handle is $15. I would probably spend $3 to $5 on tape. And then it's just gonna look ugly pretty quickly, so I will just do this. Do it this way. I'm going to put the handle back on, and then I'll worry about setting the set screws on the front so that the pivot's in the right area. Hold on, let's see how far this goes in. The handle's not going to go in fully seated with the seat on there, but I don't think it'll be an issue. That is interesting though. What I mean seated is this isn't going to fully seat as far onto there as I think it did before, but it'll be fine because it's seated against this and okay, so I guess the last step here it's pretty stiff because this handle is pushing inwards on the actual seat, but it will be okay. Get it latched the way I want it. You definitely need to use the set screws, or else it'll push against that cover. In the spirit of Loctite, I'm going to Loctite the set screws too. And you got to be careful because there's actually a rubber tip on here. On the set screws, there's a rubber tip to protect from scratching the paint. I just see that. I wish I could show you, but it's way too small. And the rubber tip was on this one, but on that one it's not. It was left in the thread, so just be aware of that when you go to, if you do decide to remove any of the set screws. Okay, should be good. Let's see. I mean, it's stiff, so at least it's not going to bounce around. It's tight. I mean, I didn't over tighten anything. It's just a tight fit. I'd rather have it tight than flopping around. It's pretty easy to see the controls and everything. I'll go take it for a ride. There you go. All installed. And I guess if you go to trolley it, let's just see how this works. I guess it just kind of mates up with the handle here. Ain't bad. Let's go take it for a ride. Okay, so as it turns out, there was a little bit of binding, too much binding. So we need to shave just a smidge off of that so that there is no, so that it's not compressing the two hinges because it's creating too much resistance. So I'm just going to sand it down just a smidge with this. Maybe it was something with the molding for these pieces of plastic. I don't know. I never heard anyone else having that binding issue. But I use my trolley handle a lot, so it needs to be functional and not binding up. So I'm going to go ahead and start assembling it all back again. I had to take off both sides of the hinges, sand both sides down. We'll see what it's like when I'm done. Okay, so it was a little bit more work than I thought. As you can tell now, there is no resistance or almost none. It won't it won't hold itself up. It's still tight against the plastic hinges here, but it's not enough to cause me binding issues. So what I actually had to do was I had to take off each side. See, I had to take off each handle side there. You can see where it mates up really close to that plastic. Well, that plastic was pushing it in when it was tight. So I had to take a sander and sand it just to get a little bit more clearance in there. And that seemed to do what I needed it to do. I wish it was more straight install than that, but it's working good now. Oh, and also another reason I had to go back and undo it was because these red things started rotating around this black thing because there was so much resistance in these hinges because this was smashing it together. Those little rubber pads that I mentioned on the set screws, well, I actually also removed those because they had spun off of the set screw head or tip that bites the metal. So I'm just metal on metal contact on there because those little rubber dampeners didn't seem to be doing any good anyways and actually seem to be hurting the fastening capability.